Would you believe all of this wiring can be replaced with just one wire? This tiny decision can save you hours of wiring. Let me show you why I stopped using regular RGB LEDs. I'm building a large LED clock, and I made a decision that changed the entire project. Last year, I challenged myself to build a giant 7-segment display using leftover laser cut parts. Every single LED was red. After building 4 of these displays, they became a huge digital clock. People absolutely loved it, so I decided to take it to the next level. This time, I wanted full RGB color. At first, I thought about using regular analog RGB LEDs. They're cheap, easy to find, and I've used them before. But there's a problem. If you take a look at the back of my previous clock, which only used red LEDs, you'll notice something. Now imagine replacing every one of those LEDs with analog RGB LEDs. The wiring would instantly become 3 times more complicated. That also means nearly 3 times more assembly time. And that's not all. Designing the control electronics for a clock like this would become much more challenging. So I needed a smarter solution. I needed an LED that could dramatically reduce both the wiring and the build time. That's where WS2812 LEDs come in. These tiny digital LEDs are amazing because each one contains its own built-in controller chip. Instead of controlling LEDs with separate red, green, and blue signals, a single digital data line tells every LED exactly what color and brightness it should display, which means fewer wires, a cleaner design, and a much easier project to build. But the real question is, how do these LEDs actually work? The answer is surprisingly simple. Each WS2812 LED has 4 pins. Power, which must be connected to 5 volts. Ground. A data input. And a data output. The data input of the first LED connects to the microcontroller. Then the data output goes to the data input of the next LED. And so on. One important thing to remember is that you need to know exactly how many LEDs you're using. That's because the LED count is an important part of the microcontroller's code. So I bought this 8-pixel WS2812 module to start experimenting. I have a habit. Whenever I really learn how a component works, I end up building all kinds of creative projects with it. And if we get along really well, maybe I'll even take it out for coffee. By the way, did you hit the like button yet? After running a few tests, I discovered something very interesting. But before we get to that, let's take a quick look at the code behind this project. First, I include the Adafruit NeoPixel library. Then I assign pin 2 on the node MCU as the data output pin. I chose the node MCU because WS2812 LEDs work perfectly with its 3.3 volt logic level. If you're using an AV or microcontroller like an Arduino Uno, you'll usually need a logic level shifter or a simple voltage level converter for reliable communication. Next, I define the number of LEDs I'm using. Then I create a NeoPixel object called strip using the parameters I just defined. After that, I set the brightness to its maximum value by calling setBrightness. Finally, I turn on only the first LED in pure white. Since white is made from red, green, and blue, all 3 channels are set to full brightness. Now let's measure the current. As you can see, one LED draws about 30 milliamps. Turning on a second LED almost doubles the current, so it's pretty clear that the current increases almost linearly as more LEDs are turned on. And that's a problem. This clock uses 336 LEDs. At full brightness it would need a 5-volt power supply capable of delivering around 15 amps. That's far more than I want for this project. So I needed to find a way to reduce the current consumption without sacrificing the final result. Here's the idea I came up with. Instead of keeping every segment on at the same time, what if I only turned on one segment at a time? Just like this. Normally, turning on all 8 LEDs would draw around 240 milliamps. But if only one segment is active at any given moment, the current stays at just 30 milliamps. Now, if I switch between the segments fast enough, our eyes can no longer see them turning on and off. Instead, they appear to be on continuously. You might still notice a little flicker through the camera, but to my eyes, they look completely solid while the current remains at only 30 milliamps. And remember, this test uses 8 segments. My clock only has 4. That means the visible flicker will be about 4 times less in the final project. But here's the real question. Will this technique actually work in a full-size digital clock? You'll find out in the next video. So if you enjoyed this project, don't forget to like the video and subscribe because we're just getting started.